past 3 months, I have been very hard at work building my very own custom theme park in Planet Coaster 2, called Discovery Studios, set to have 5 different themed lands based on real life things, and the most recent land we've built is of course based on the iconic British duo Wallace and Gromit. And in the area we have built a huge Intamin motorbike sidecar coaster and an absolutely massive technological dark ride, and a few little rides in between. And in this episode, not only am I going to be adding an extra roller coaster to that roster, not only am I going to be showing you the names of all of the rides in the area, but we're also going to have a huge tour of the area and go behind the scenes on a few of the rides, POV some of them, and even talk about what is next in the park. So be sure you watch till the end so you don't miss anything, and be sure to subscribe as well so you don't miss those future episodes. Well, that was weird. Welcome back to another episode of Discovery Studios. Let's skip past that. You'll find out what that is in due course. But we are here in the park. Episode 9 we are on now, which is crazy. Almost halfway through this series. And we are straight away building a brand new roller coaster. And the roller coaster is built. Might as well end the episode. No, do not go anywhere because there is so much left to cover in this episode. We're only just getting started and I've built an entire coaster. So I am going to change this coaster a little bit. You'll see that throughout this episode as well. So it's not fully finished, as you can see, literally reprofiling it right there. A Vekoma Junior coaster then. Why have I gone for this? Well, the reason for that is because a lot of these keep popping up, especially around Europe, and they're very smooth, they're quite short layouts, and they just have a nice rhythm to them, if that's what you could call them. And I just feel like that literally makes no sense. I just feel like it would fit quite nicely into this back section, because if you remember, in episode 7 now, almost a month ago I want to say, because that dark ride in the last episode took me way too long, which I'm really glad you guys enjoyed, by the way. I'll get back onto that soon. But this area, the funfair bit, I made all of that, and I thought I'll put a little car ride in. And then I sort of built it and thought, no. So I actually tried to build a log flume as well, which again just felt really out of place. And I don't think you'd want a car ride or a log... Well, you could have a log flume at a fun fair. You wouldn't really want a car ride at a fun fair. You want something exciting and big, like this roller coaster right here. Although you definitely wouldn't get a Vekoma Junior coaster at a fun fair. But it doesn't matter, because I have actually gone and changed the theme of this fun fair area and the actual area that this coaster is in. It was all going to be sort of part of this town fair that West Wallaby Street was having, and they're just having a nice street party, and there's all these different like fun fair flat rides like the chair swing and the little wheel, and obviously a car ride apparently originally, but after getting rid of that and seeing the new DLC come out with obviously the Vekoma Junior coaster, I thought it'd be really nice to include that as a kids coaster, and I didn't really know what to theme it as. But so many of you guys in the comments of that episode where we built the fun fair said I should have made it about the big vegetable competition that is in Curse of the Were-Rabbit. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to go and watch that film, because otherwise saying big vegetable competition sounds mad. Go watch Curse of the Were-Rabbit if you haven't, to get that context, because in the film they have these giant vegetables and then obviously Wallace turns into a rabbit. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I do realise a lot of these films, when I do talk about them, if you haven't watched them, they probably sound absolutely mental. But that's what the film is about. And I feel like that was just a great way to entwine that film into the area, because of course you've got Wrong Trousers in the dark ride, you've got the brand new film that came out, Vengeance Most Foul, which is in the motorbike coaster. We need all the other ones. There's a bit of close shave here and there in the area now, I'll show you that soon. And also there is actually a tiny bit of Grand Day Out, which I wish I could have done more of. I'm tempted to actually go back and edit a few things, maybe in the dark ride, to add some Easter eggs to that film, because I don't think that film has enough representation in this area. Whereas now, this entire bit is Curse of the Were-Rabbit. There's loads of stuff going on. But what I've done with the coaster, you could see it with its orange colour scheme and the blue van. I just gave it away by calling it the blue van. The orange was literally inspired by just any nice colour that looks a bit vegetable-esque, so like a carrot. Genuinely, that was my inspiration. I don't know what else to tell you. I could have gone for like a green track, but it just felt like it was just blending in too much, and the orange popped out quite nicely. And then the actual car on the tracks, the reason I called it a van is because why not make the train itself themed to the anti-pesto rescue van that Wallace and Gromit drive. It's their job in the film when they go around and rescue all of the rabbits that have gone a bit mad and gone around these gardens and destroyed all these big vegetables and stuff. When they go out in that van, why not make the train of the ride that? I thought that would be really cool. I had a lot of comments originally when I started this area saying that I should do like the car ride that I was planning, and I should make it so you can drive around in the anti-pesto van. So we meet in between, you know. I can make that lovely train on the ride look like the van, and at the back you're going to have like the swirly rabbit mechanism that they have, and that might also appear on ride, which is quite fun. So you'll see that later on. But I need to explain what I'm building here, because for those of you, again, who haven't seen the film, you might have no clue what I'm building. This is Tottington Hall. Pretty much, that is where the whole of the film is practically set. There's a few places where it's not, obviously down West Wallaby Street at their house, blah, blah, blah. But the vast majority of it anyway, is set at Tottington Hall. And just outside of it, when they have the vegetable competition, there's a fun fair. So why would I not put it in? Why would I not? I mean, there was a lot of comments suggesting to put this in as sort of like a back wall, because obviously, if you don't know, each area has to back onto another area every single time we make one. So to try and like back on with just trees again would be a bit boring. The F1 area, I actually have to do something over there, which you may have spotted if you have a very keen eye, that there is a new attraction coming in there, but we'll get onto that another day. But I had to actually make adjustments there, because one of the sides where I was originally going to just put trees or put something else is now very, very close up to that Dark Rides warehouse. So yeah, I need to sort that out, and hopefully I can do in good time. As you can see, I'm making the observatory on the top of Tottington Hall. That is a very iconic piece of that entire film. They spend a lot of time up there as well. At first it looks a bit odd, but then we sort of move the glass around like so. There you go. Looks a bit better. And then we add some, well, I try and add some circular flooring to it, but you don't actually see the floor of it, so I don't know why I was trying to do that. But yeah, this will act as pretty much like not like a sound wall or anything, but you know when like Fly at Rookburg in Phantasialand, you know, that sort of vibe where there's these massive walls and they block out anything else from the outside, and it's very well themed. I want you to be able to walk into that fun fair bit and still see, oh, this is actually a really well themed area, because it's all themed to the vegetable competition. There's Tottington Hall at the back. But when you go into a different area, you might think, oh, if I look behind me right now, I'll be able to see Tottington Hall still. Immersion ruined. You won't be, because that will be themed differently on each side, so you'll be able to see it. A completely different building, but still blend in with both the Wallace and Gromit theme land and the new one that will come at some point in the future. As you can see, adding some more shrubbery around the side. Very quickly before I begin work, I believe, on the tunnel that will take us to another area. Now, obviously, since I started this park, I've been wanting to make it so you can loop around the entire outside without going back into the central point, just to make things a bit easier for guest flow. So I'm continuing to do that. Also, why have I decided now to build the helix? Oh, I know why. See, I forget these things. I literally decided to build this helix now because I realized how much space I have with the coaster compared to what I did before, moving that tunnel across to go under some of the queue line of the motorbike coaster there. So I got to add another helix, yay. And in the middle of that helix will actually be a piece of theming that is pivotal, is an actual very important piece of the area and its theme. So I'm quite glad I added that helix. I never knew helixes could have so much power. As you can see, building more of Tottington Hall, trying not to clash into that tunnel that I've just built. And yeah, as you can see, that coming along nicely. I was really distracted by the helix. I've forgotten what I was talking about. That's it, where the tunnel will lead. So all the areas so far, you can go into the F1 area, which is the furthest right, and go all the way to the left of that area and go through the little brick wall tunnel type thing towards West Wallaby Street, and then you're in here, and then you'll be able to go through that tunnel that I've just built into the next area, which actually isn't the next one we're building. Yes, I haven't spoken about this yet. I don't think in any episode, but this is the first time you might hear this. The next area is not going to be directly next to here. Of course, there will be an area there eventually, but the next one we're building won't be, because I have a great idea for something that needs a little bit more space, and it's going to go on the furthest left side of the park. Yes, we're going directly opposite. Well, is it directly opposite? Technically, I think it's right opposite the Wallace and Gromit land, but I might be wrong. It's in the far left corner. If you look at the star that we have in the center, bottom left, that's where this area is going to be, and we're going to start work on that in the next episode. Yes, I know. It's a very different kind of area. So I'm excited to see how that goes. But what you've seen so far of the Wallace and Gromit land, we've been on this area for 4 episodes now, I want to say. Episode 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we've been on that for quite a while. Whereas the F1 area was only 3 episodes. This has been 4. I think the next area will only be 2 episodes long because it's not going to be a huge area. It's going to have one big showpiece in the center and then one big roller coaster as well. I can't wait to build that coaster. It's going to be so good. So many ideas for it already. It's probably going to be the craziest coaster I've built. Maybe on par with Jinshi that I made in Isle of Discovery, because that was pretty ridiculous. Which, if you don't know, was the Mac Extreme Spinner. I don't know what I was on when I was building that, but that thing, if that was real, it would be my number 1, I think. Because who the hell's doing a beyond vertical launch on a spinning coaster? Like, what's going on? Only Mac rides would do that. And me, apparently. As you can see, I'm adding some fences along here. We need to keep with the present because I'm going too far into the future. I always get excited about these new areas, but I need to stay grounded until you find out. And you can see me putting the sorcery fencing. I do actually remove some of the queue fencing and actually just leave that sorcery fencing up just as a bit of a ride barrier. I had a bit of an issue there where I thought someone's going to bonk their head on that little point, and I was like, no, so I had to quickly unbank that slightly, and that was fine in the end. And then, yeah, there you go. That's Tottington Hall. And we've gone to... Why has it gone black? Genuinely don't know what happened there. My apologies, but we are back in Planet Coaster again. I am now building the train for that coaster. As you can see, I feel like I say as you can see way too much. It's the same as me saying I'm happy with things. I'm literally adding the logo of Anti-Pesto. What I talked about earlier, their little van that they run around in the films, that's what I'm basing this on. And I thought it'd be really cool to put the logo on the side. Obviously, you can duplicate that across the entire train with the twinning option. Let me put the text in as well. I don't know where this idea came to me, but it was a really random location I was in. I think I was literally like shopping somewhere, and I thought, yes, what if I made this? Like, it was so random. And obviously, I saw loads of your guys' comments that influenced that as well, where it was just sort of like, it would be so cool to have something based on one of the vans and just have it driving around. Although now I have too many car rides or like vehicle-based rides in this game. Like, hang on, I haven't even built... I've just realised I haven't built a ride yet, a coaster or like a dark ride, that isn't based on a vehicle. Because both of the F1 rides, you're sat in an F1 car, and the Wallace and Gromit ride, one of which you're sat on a motorbike and sidecar, the other you're sat in a train carriage, and this one you're sat in a van. Don't worry, the next one will not be vehicle based, I promise you. I don't know what's happened there. That was a really weird realization. But I'm making this fully now, as you can see. I absolutely love the little headlights and the little vent at the front, and the anti-pesto thing on the side, the logo. Fantastic. And then at the back, we're going to put the little rabbit swirly thing, which you'll see later as well, which you can sort of see now in the background during that helix. And yeah, really, really fun ride this. It's nothing special. That's the thing about this coaster. It's like, you're not going to ride it and go, wow, that was the best family coaster I've ever been on. It's just a nice little... I would call it a little bit of like a placeholder, or whatever they call it when something's really last minute and just like a sort of a filler ride. That's what they call them. I would call it that, but it sort of isn't, because it is just supposed to be here. Like, I needed a family ride like this because I was going to build one in the F1 area. I actually did, and then I decided to remove it. You might remember that one, the little single launch coaster that I was going to do like a hot lap thing for. That just went completely out the window because I was not happy with that. Was not happy with it, guys. And then as you can see, I'm adding this nice thing at the back, which is of course where they suck all the rabbits into. And I wanted to make it sort of glow green and then fade out again, then back to green and then fade out again. I wanted to make it sort of pulse that light whilst you are on it, so I decided to add some lights into there. And at first it very much lit up way too much of the entire land as it went round, but I managed to sort that. And as you can see, just making it fade back and forth right there. Very nice. And it will start testing round, and then I should turn it to nighttime. You'll be able to see it pulsing. It's probably pulsing a bit too fast on the time lapse. But there you go. Look how much that's lighting the area up. That's so bright. But I do turn that down quite a bit and move it along, move it around a bit. And then as you can see, look, it's just pulsing nicely now, going back and forth between those colours. And now we're actually going to head into real time and go on that tour of the area. And you join me here in Discovery Studios. Look at this beautiful view of a fence. No, as you can see, the park entrance itself, it's been so long since I've even started any real-time section from here. And as you can see on the Studio 2 building, you have the F1 poster that is up and ready, and the Wallace and Gromit poster now added to that selection. That was probably the most obvious teaser compared to the other two there. Although there is also this one here. Ooh. But as we walk through down to the central area, the Kronos is charging up as we are walking towards the Wallace and Gromit themed land. As you can see, going past the nice little Chief Beef stand, all the way along to the Wallace and Gromit themed entrance portal. This is the final time we're going to step inside here for the rest of the series until the final tour, which is really, really sad because I've absolutely loved making this area. And as you can see, we're into West Wallaby Street. Isn't it beautiful? And the first thing we're going to do is look at the new names for all of the different rides in the area before we go on a few. And as you can see, the first is the Dark Ride here at 62 West Wallaby Street, now called Wallace and Gromit Trouble Off the Tracks. That is an absolutely great name, suggested by the Nebula Moth, and I specifically loved the idea to cross out the word on and just stick it as Trouble Off the Tracks. I love that so much. And as you can see, made a little entrance sign for it as well, just to sort of, you know, signify a bit more that this is the house that you're supposed to go in to ride it. And that's now open technically, so the 10-minute wait time is real. It's not 10-minute wait time with nothing there anymore. But we're going to have a behind the scenes look in there later on. As you can see up here, we have the pub on the corner, the Wensleydale, I've decided to call it. So many people suggested that name. And I finally completed these buildings over here. I added a few shops like the Close Shave Barbers. You've also got Hey Pesto Kitchen, you know, why not? And then the Exit gift shop for the Dark Ride there. Fluffles Flowers, and also Wash and Go over there too. Tottington's as the grocery shop, the Canal Trip store that we made, and the Wendeleen's Wools, that's quite an old thing. And then over here we've got the Rocket Repair shop, and also a Snoozy Chock advert that had to be done. Some little bollards to block people from driving in here as we go into the fairground area. And as you can see, it's so lively. With one of our flat rides, the chair swing, being called Bakelite Flyers. I love that name so much, and that was suggested by Coaster Chow YT. So thank you for that name suggestion. I love the fact that, again, references Matter and Loaf of Death. And with the colours I went for originally, I think it suits it perfectly. This name right here, Wendeleen's Wool Wheel, I decided to call it that myself. Yes, this is my name that I suggested to myself. But there's still a chance to name one of the rides in this area that hasn't been named yet, and that is the brand new coaster that we built in this episode that we're actually going to take a ride on. I'm going to queue jump real quick. And as you can see, there goes the anti-pesto vans all the way up the lift hill of the ride, and then dropping back down right past Tottington Hall. There you go. Look at Tottington Hall in all of its glory. That is actually really nice from down here. I actually moved it. I think I did show that in the time lapse, but originally it was over here and it was way too dark because of the sunlight, so I decided to move it where the sunlight would always be on it. Very random fact that no one probably cares about, but the queue line's very simple. It just sort of goes in and around the coaster whilst you see the hall in the background, queue jumping again, and then over here you have, oh, a gap in the fence. Time to escape! You have the bun vac right over there that you'll helix round on the ride. I thought of that really randomly and thought it'd be quite cool. And the station is right behind us. And let's have a ride on it. As you can see, straight out of the station and up the lift hill, a lovely view of Tottington Hall. Oh, and my friend. Hello. And here we go. Down the drop, a nice smooth coaster. Very simple layout again. Down there and then into a helix. Around the queue. And then a nice photo taken. Round over the queue again. And then round this bunny thing. Look at that. That's so silly. And then you go around a few more adverts on the walls. And then you go into the station. And don't worry, it's not just a one lap because it's a 2-lap special. But we've done 1 lap, so we might as well leave it to go around again by itself because we've seen the POV for it, and there'll be nothing new the next time round. And yeah, you come out of here, and then there's a photo stand, which is right by a Preston Foods building, which is closed for refurbishment, because obviously what happens in the closed shave, you know? Oh, another reference. And yeah, you've got a little photo stand in front of that with all the ride photos from that ride. So yes, any name suggestions for that coaster would be greatly appreciated. Obviously, keep in mind it's based on Curse the Were-Rabbit with the Tottington Hall, and also the Bunvac right here. Look at this. This is so silly. They are terrifying when you look at them up close. But from a distance circling round, they do look quite sweet. So, you know, quite funny little bit of theme in there. As you see, like the Metabix dog food and the Wash and Go cleaning service ads as well. Yeah, that is that ride. Done. Well, other than a name. So we can continue round to our next stop, and that is the Blue Diamond exhibition in the museum. Now, you may be thinking, of course, that is the entrance to the motorbike sidecar coaster. Where's the sign for it? I don't know. I think it works for now. And there was some really good names suggested for this ride. I was originally going to go with Vengeance Most Foul, just to sort of, you know, because the story of the ride relays the film. But there was a name that I really liked from FP21_RL called Wallace and Gromit's Sidecar Scramble. I just really like that name. It sounds very Wallace and Gromit. And I feel like calling it that definitely tells you what the ride is more so than any other name would. So thank you for that name suggestion. But yes, as you can see, the queue line inside, I've sort of tried to remake a bit of the museum that you see in the film and where the Blue Diamond should have been. Oh, where is it? And then the fact you're going to climb up these stairs and go into a lot of sort of security areas where the Blue Diamond has been stolen from. And we're going to POV it, because I haven't actually showed you it in its themed state. I've only showed you it when we first built the coasters. Here we go. The coasters? The coaster, not plural. And off we go, launching down through West Wallaby Street. You can hear the audio in the background. I'm trying to make it a little bit quieter. Oh, look, there's a Norbot. Oh, we're going to get hit by a tree now. Ready? Whoa! Some nice launches. I thought I'd sit a little bit further back just so you can see some of the scenes a bit better. And here we go, inside. And here's where you would look to your right and see Wallace and Gromit. And look, the red dot, the Norbots are going towards the zoo. Oh, you might have seen feathers there. That's quite funny as well. Towards the zoo. I still haven't done the Wallace voice line to this yet because I don't know if I can perfect that voice. Here we go, in the zoo now. And you've got the animal may bite sign that's been ripped apart. Lions, ah! This is one of my favourite parts right here. Flips the sign, danger. Oh no! Not this way, Gromit. And the tree starts falling. And then we fall back. But don't worry, we've transformed. And then there's Feathers' little humble enclosure before we head inside the drop track building. I don't think I showed any of this being built. And here we go. Yo! I forget how many there are. Yo, no! Down we go into the sewers. And then out we go. And then Norbot recharges. Nice and smooth. There's Norbot again. Hello, sir. Let me launch one more time. Huge overbank right there. The canal boats. Banking round into the final hill. Into the brake run. And yeah, that's the ride. I am now standing here because you actually do exit out of the Wash and Go area over there, because obviously Wash and Go is what they used to go under when they used that motorbike and sidecar. But yeah, that's the major coaster in the area. All of its theming now complete other than those couple indoor bits. And yeah, you've seen all of that, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. But I thought on top of that as well, we would have a look inside the dark ride, Wallace and Gromit Trouble Off the Tracks. I still love that name. But this time I wanted to focus, instead of just a POV of it, on the more behind the scenes stuff and how some of it works. So we're going to go around with the ride and have a bit of a look at that if it ever wants to come into the station. It's going to take forever, isn't it? Hey, here it comes. There's the train and the carriage behind. So if you're wondering how this actually works, originally. There's actually 2 stations underground, one of which is of course the actual sort of coaster that you sit in, and the other is the train in front, and they literally just come up both through a vertical LSM launch, and they literally run exactly like this underneath the floor the entire time, all the way through, and then they stop and start together, and you just have to get the timings right, really. But the animatronic stuff then, as you can see, the car comes around the corner and sets off a trigger for Feathers McGraw to start walking. So that is actually just a couple of movable rotational devices in his legs, and then one in his arm that comes up and then holds that against him, and then he literally is also on a massive vertical one that springs him straight into the floor and stays there whilst you come out, because if you actually stayed here... The wrong trousers right here are the exact same as Feathers back there. As you can see, he's sort of got these I don't know, rotational things in these legs instead, and they just sort of go out and then out, 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 and then all of these things move along together. So it'll move out on this one and then move out on this one. It's a bit complicated, but it works, I guess. And in this section here, the train actually comes round, and as you can see, these carriages come out, which you might have seen last time when we POV'd it. It's just on a bunch of horizontal ones again. And then fun fact, the train comes out there just as you almost see it, and then it hides again in the wall. I know, not very realistic, but it worked really well. And then this section just comes out like that. Bam! There goes Feathers. Whee! Not the most realistic methods of working on all of that, but you know, it worked really well. And I just wanted to say, as we walk out, yeah, I wanted to say a massive thank you once again for all of the support on that video and this dark ride in general. It just means so much to me, all of the kind comments and the compliments and everything. Thank you so much. I genuinely started playing Planet Coaster and could never get dark rides right, and especially in my most recent park, Isle of Discovery, I still wasn't there with dark rides. But I'm really proud of how far I've come with building them, and I'm glad to present this one and the one in the F1 area, because they are some of the best things I think I have built in this game. But as you can see, west of Wallaby Street for one last time as we head out of the portal and towards the next area. Because after having built these 2 areas here, the next one starts now. All the way on the left hand side as you exit the Studio 2 building, right here, opposite the 2 other areas, in this mysterious red and black archway right here. And this is going to have the craziest coaster we have built in this park, and probably some of the craziest show elements that I've ever put on a ride in this game. So it's that time again as the Kronos is charging up to reveal the next area.